We're now under 100 days until the US presidential election, and things are getting, shall we say, interesting. The proverbial shit has hit the fan. But let's take a closer look at Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And before you try to correct me, yes, there are two others running. But the possibility of them winning even one state is so small, they really don't have a chance of winning the presidency. And honestly, if anybody does choose to vote for them, that is very understandable. At least they voted. About 40% of the US population didn't vote in the last presidential election. So basically, we really have two choices. There are many factors that can cause an individual to lean towards or away from a candidate. But let's look at just three: their records, their allegiances, and their trustworthiness. Let's start with their records. Hillary Clinton has been in the public eye for 30 years in one form or another. She has been Secretary of State, a senator for New York, First Lady, and a lawyer. As a lawyer, she helped with the Nixon scandal investigation, during which her employer, Jerry Zeifman, said she was an unethical, dishonest lawyer. She conspired to violate the Constitution, the rules of the House, and the rules of the committee, and the rules of confidentiality. Zeifman also refused to provide her with a letter of recommendation, something he only did 3 times in his career. As First Lady, she backed the Health Care Security Act of 1993, but that bill later failed. She was also party to several key laws being enacted, such as the 1994 federal assault weapons ban. As Senator, she sponsored or co-sponsored 713 pieces of legislation, of which 3 became law. S.3145. This bill renamed a portion of Route 20A in New York State. S.3613. This bill renamed a post office in New York State. And S.2141. This bill made the brick house of Kate Maloney, a female Union leader, a National Historic Site. Her attendance was also 5 times less than your average senator. This is not a very prestigious career as U.S. Senator. As Secretary of State, she oversaw the destabilization in Egypt, Syria, and Libya. The Muslim Brotherhood and ISIS has since risen to power in each of these failed states. Her stay in the Department of State has resulted in thousands of deaths and millions of displaced. The displaced are now fleeing to Europe, and as a result, Europe is experiencing a very real crime wave stemming from these migrants. Europe is feeling the strain of her policies in the Middle East. How long before that strain comes to us as well? Although this is not a complete record of Hillary Clinton, it does paint an accurate picture of her career in the public eye. Let's see how Donald Trump compares. Although he has not been in the public eye as much as Hillary Clinton, he still knows his way around. Since the age of 20, he has been involved in real estate investing, and at the ripe old age of 22, he and his father purchased Swifton Village, a 1,200-unit apartment complex in Cincinnati, Ohio. They renovated it and raised the occupancy rate from 34% to 100%. They later sold that property for a profit of about $1 million. He then finished college and started his career with the Trump Organization. He has since been involved in thousands of real estate ventures and is currently the owner of over 550 businesses. His various businesses have filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy 4 times in his career. This form of bankruptcy allows the business to stay in business while restructuring its debts. Later, he was the host of The Apprentice and appeared in over 20 movies and shows. Trump has been floating the idea of running for president since 1988, but never felt the timing was right. But in June 2015, he decided to put his hat in for the presidential election. Now that we know some of their past, let's look at their allegiances. Hillary Clinton has always been a Democrat, true blue if you will. One of her first political backers and advisors was Senator Robert Byrd. Byrd was the exalted Cyclops of the KKK in America. This position was the highest position in the KKK, and he was elected unanimously. She's never really distanced herself from him or his position in the KKK. Strange for somebody who is backing minority rights. During this presidential election, her donors include Citigroup at $941,278, J.P. Morgan at $923,538, DLA Piper at $905,656, Goldman Sachs at $893,019. One of her closest aides and advisors is named Huma Abedin. Miss Abedin is of Pakistani and Indian descent and has been at Mrs. Clinton's side for nearly a decade. Miss Abedin has very direct ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. Through her family, school, friends, she has been in the Muslim Brotherhood sphere quite some time. Also, in recent news, it has been shown that her foundation, the Clinton Foundation, took anywhere between $10 and $25 million from Saudi Arabia, a country which jails homosexuals and curtails women's rights. Also, the foundation took between $1 and $5 million from the UAE, Qatar, and Oman. What does she side with when it comes to major political issues? Will her aides advise her correctly? Will her allegiances be tried when her time comes? It's hard to say. Donald Trump's donor list is a little less lofty, though. John Powers Middleton Companies, $150,000. Phillips International Realty, $100,000. Kushner Companies, $100,000. Manchester Financial Groups, $50,000. His statement that he's mostly self-funding his campaign is true. Before his presidential bid, Trump donated to both sides of the aisle. He even donated to Hillary Clinton's Senate bid. She later attended his wedding. From 1998 to 2011, Trump donated $497,600 to Republicans, while donating a little more to Democrats, $581,350. Since 2012, he has donated $463,450 to Republicans and $3,500 to Democrats. I think it would be safe to say that since 2012, his views on Democrats and the Democratic Party has shifted. Trump has many business ties throughout the world, but none have really risen to the level of causing great political damage to him. Trump's closest advisors are his family and very close personal friends he's known all his life. Now that we know who they surround themselves with and whom they owe something to, let's take a look at the final item, their trustworthiness. Hillary Clinton's political and private careers have been mired in controversy and scandals. She falsely claimed that she had landed under fire in Bosnia. Her statements about the events in Benghazi, Libya, have been proven to be false. She even lied to the families of the fallen CIA contractors. And according to James Comey, her repeated stories about her email server being secure and having no classified information on it were found to be false. Many of the other women in Bill Clinton's life have had their characters tarnished and trashed, personally, by her. I think it's safe to say that Hillary Clinton has some issues when it comes to speaking the truth. Donald Trump is currently facing some scrutiny with regards to Trump University. It's alleged that the university lied to its students and did not really fully deliver on their promises. However, it is not alleged that he personally misled anyone. Other than that, he has not been mired in any large lies. So I ask you, who has a more proven record of telling the truth? When it comes down to it, we have two choices. One of these people will be leading our nation in a very trying time. Are you willing to vote for someone that has a record of lying, misleading, mishandling classified information, and someone that potentially owes some favors to some very powerful corporations in other countries for their donations? Or are you willing to vote for someone that has ran several businesses, employs over 22,000 people, and who puts their nation's interests first, and who does not owe anyone any favors? Time will tell who wins and who leads our nation. One thing is certain, though. We each have a say in it, so get out there and get involved. If you like this video, please consider subscribing or send us a message on Facebook. We will be updating regularly.